He's the best third down and fourth down wide receiver. That's caught. Tremble got the ball.
Every NFL team's got that one guy, the weak link. The starter you watch on Sundays and wonder, how the heck is he still out there? Whether it's a washed-up vet, a draft pick gone sideways, or just a flat-out bad fit, every starting lineup has its soft spot.
Second down and goal, a blitz coming, and the pass is up.
So, let's take a look around the league and go team by team and call out each franchise's worst projected starter heading into 2025. Arizona Cardinals, Akeem Davis-Gaither, LB. Davis-Gaither can flash some range, but coverage concerns linger, and his instincts versus the run are, well, let's say more theoretical than functional. He just isn't the kind of physical linebacker that you want at the center of your defense. Heading into the season, it's clear that the Cardinals front office is trying to make some changes to try to turn things around, and the Patrick front seven is getting a big makeover. But if Davis-Gaither is still playing a major role, well, rehab might be cosmetic. Atlanta Falcons, Morgan Fox, DT. Atlanta's lack of pass rush productivity was a huge issue for the team in recent years, and it's hard not to peg Morgan Fox as a key aspect of that problem. He's not a bad depth piece, he's just kind of a shaky starter, and in a division full of mobile QBs, his inability to get pressure up the middle to allow the edges to keep contained is a huge concern. Baltimore Ravens, Andrew Voorhees, LG. Andrew Voorhees is the NFL's version of Schrodinger's guard. We don't know if he's good or not because, well, we just haven't seen enough. The tools are there, the few reps that he's played were promising, but this isn't preseason. Baltimore needs bodies on the line, and they're rolling the dice on a 7th rounder who missed his rookie year. Not exactly what you would expect from a team looking to make a push for the Super Bowl. Buffalo Bills, Larry Ogunjobi, DT. Larry Ogunjobi arriving in Buffalo was supposed to be a big win, but it's starting to look like another swing and a miss. I mean, for starters, he's been popped with a suspension, 6 games on the shelf due to PEDs, an $8.3 million price tag, and a long track record of underwhelming consistency. Add it all up and you've got a move that's aging like milk. Given his inconsistent performance in recent years, the Bills would have loved to have him tee up and be ready to go for camp so he would get with the system and all that. But it's looking like he could just be a major weakness once he's actually back in action. Carolina Panthers, Tommy Tremble, TE. Tommy Tremble's stats read like a backup fullback's, not a starting NFL tight end. He's got 548 yards total since being drafted in 2021.
The Carolina Panthers select Tommy Tremble, tight end, Notre Dame.
And now coming off back surgery and is expected to miss the start of camp. And he's supposed to be the pass-catching tight end to help Bryce Young further his development. Really? Oh, man. Yeah, this is why bad teams stay bad. Because roster decisions like this just make no sense. Carolina's new regime must really hate tight ends for some reason.
He's the best third down and fourth down wide receiver. That's caught. Tremble got the ball.
Tremble is tough and blocks okay, but in a league where tight ends are supposed to be mismatch nightmares, Tremble's just kind of there. And the team is hoping that he won't be a massive liability. Chicago Bears, Dayo Odeyingbo, DE. All the noise was about the offense last year, but the Bears needed to improve their pass rush as well. And man, I'd be awful nervous relying on Odeyingbo creating pressure up coming off the edge. He looks the part and says all the right things, but banking on a guy like Odeyingbo who had minimal production in recent years to lead your pass rush? Yeah, that's delusional Bears optimism at its peak. Cincinnati Bengals, Geno Stone, safety. Geno Stone had some nice moments last year, but yeah, he was a major culprit when it came to missed tackles. With one bell gone and depth razor thin, there's a risk that Stone's flaws get a lot more exposed. The Bengals want to be aggressive on defense, but if your safety can't finish plays, that aggression backfires fast. If this group breaks, it'll be at the back end. Cleveland Browns, Joe Flacco, QB. Cleveland still has no clear answer at quarterback, and with no real receiving threats and an offensive line that cratered last year, putting Flacco behind center feels like daring the football gods to just smite you.
Backfield 53. Fake and throw. Flacco wide open. Touchdown.
Cleveland is pretending that this is a veteran presence sort of thing. It's not. It's hard reset post Deshaun Watson. And also hoping that Flacco helps them get the #1 pick in next year's draft more than a postseason bid. Dallas Cowboys, Monty Smith, DT. Monty Smith was supposed to help bolster Dallas's run defense, but frankly, he was a part of the problem last year. The Cowboys' interior got bullied all season, and now they're asking Smith to make the leap with a new defensive coordinator. Yeah, Cowboys fans should be very worried about this one. Denver Broncos, Riley Moss, CB. The Denver defense came on very strong last season, and more of the same is expected. And while there is a lot to like about Riley Moss, speed, ball skills, effort, liking is not the same as trusting. And now he is set to be the starting corner on a team with playoff aspirations. And, there are some serious questions if he's going to be up for the task. Detroit Lions, Graham Glasgow, LG. The offensive line was a major strength for Detroit last year, but they're going to need a lot out of Graham if they want to maintain that reputation this year. Detroit better hope that his body holds up, or that offense will start looking much less explosive, especially without Ben Johnson to scheme up protections. Green Bay Packers, Kingsley Engebar, Edge. Engebar has his moments, but unfortunately, he also has a habit of disappearing for stretches. Not what the Packers need, nor what they expect, considering that they have him playing across from Rashawn Gary. If Engebar can't raise his game, well, this pass rush will continue to be a one-man show off the edge and will ultimately limit the team's ceiling. Houston Texans, Juice Scruggs, RG. Juice Scruggs had a tough rookie year. The Texans tried to make him a center. That didn't exactly work, so now he's back at guard, where he is continuing to struggle in camp. Houston has a lot of the right pieces on offense, and Scruggs is starting to stand out in a very bad way. Indianapolis Colts, Segun Olubi, LB. Having Segun Olubi, an undrafted free agent from the 2022 class, penciled in as a starter is a major head-scratcher, especially when you consider the rest of the otherwise talented Colts defense.
Segun Olubi!
Look, the guy has made just 39 tackles in his first 3 NFL seasons, and they think that they can just toss him into the starting lineup and he'll just slide in seamlessly. Yeah, I'm not sure what they're thinking on this one. Jacksonville Jaguars, Eric Murray, safety. Jacksonville brought in Eric Murray, hoping that he could be a helpful veteran presence. But what they've got is a placeholder who has not made a real impact in years. This secondary is not good enough to hide a weak link, and Murray is shaping up to be the guy every quarterback circles before the snap. Kansas City Chiefs, Kingsley Suamataia, LG. With Joe Thuney's departure, an opportunity has been opened, and the Chiefs are hoping that Kingsley Suamataia is the guy to fill it. Kansas City has taken a gamble on a raw talent and hoping that he can handle the move inside. But if he doesn't adapt, and fast, this line at large could go from strength to sore spot. Las Vegas Raiders, Devin White, LB. Devin White has been a well-known name since his college days and has had some big moments, particularly early on in his career. But his reputation has really taken a hit in recent years. He's reckless in coverage, reckless in pursuit, and more often than not makes highlight reels for the wrong teams because, well, he's just way too over-aggressive at the wrong times. Los Angeles Chargers, Mike Williams, WR. Mike Williams is back in LA, which is less a triumphant homecoming and more of a last chance salvage job. He's going to look to revive his career and also look to prove that he can be a legit starter.
Second down and goal, a blitz coming, and the pass is up.
Albeit behind Ladd McConkey, but we are not getting our hopes up. Los Angeles Rams, Steve Avila, OG. Granted, his season was made more challenging by injury, but still, 2024 was a rough stretch for Steve Avila, who the Rams expected to be a linchpin of their line protecting Matthew Stafford when they took him 36th overall out of TCU in 2023. Miami Dolphins, Jonah Savaiinaia, RG. You're not supposed to rely on rookies to stabilize a mess, but that hasn't stopped the Dolphins from throwing second-round pick Jonah Savaiinaia into a pressure cooker trying to keep Tua Tagovailoa upright. Minnesota Vikings, Aaron Jones, RB. Aaron Jones is obviously an accomplished player, but at his advanced age, it's clear that he has lost more than a step or two. He still has the vision and knowledge of the game, but the burst is gone, and it is shocking that the Vikes are heading into the season with him as the guy.
Territory at the 49. Aaron Jones bouncing to the outside, steps through a tackle.
New England Patriots, Garrett Bradbury, center. Garrett Bradbury was a liability in Minnesota, and now he's the anchor of a Patriots offensive line trying to rebuild its identity. Yeah, good luck with that. New Orleans Saints, Tyler Shuck, QB. A soon-to-be 26-year-old rookie coming off of injuries and inconsistency in college, thrust into a starting role behind a patchwork offensive line and no real ground game to lean on. Yeah, this could get ugly real fast. New York Giants, Russell Wilson, QB. Russ is not the guy that he used to be, plain and simple. The rest of this Giants team is starting to come into form, but you have to think that the Giants are hoping that Jackson Dart will come along sooner rather than later. New York Jets, Andre Cisco, safety. On a Jets defense that's supposed to be elite, Cisco feels like the soft spot. He's not the worst starter on talent alone, but the inconsistencies are too glaring to ignore. Philadelphia Eagles, Keely Ringo, CB. At this point in his career, Ringo still just is an elite athlete who needs to develop on the technical side of things. Ringo can hang vertically and sway with burners, but ask him to play zone, work the slot, or react to complex routes, and that's where it starts to get sketchy. And on an uber-talented Eagles roster, that's enough to get tagged as the worst starter. Pittsburgh Steelers, RB, Jaylen Warren. Let's face facts, Jaylen Warren is firmly a change of pace back, an efficient spark, but not a true bell cow. At 26 years old, he's shown flashes as a downhill runner and a reliable receiver, but he's never topped 150 rushes in a season. If Warren is expected to take on the bulk of the work, his history suggests that he'll struggle to shoulder the load. Without a true workhorse like Najee Harris to grind out tough yards and soak carries to set Warren up, the Steelers will face challenges running the ball consistently. In today's NFL, committees work, with Warren in a supporting role, but relying on him as the lead back puts Pittsburgh at serious risk, especially with an aging Aaron Rodgers under center, who will need a dynamic rushing attack in order to take pressure off of him. San Francisco 49ers, Jordan Elliott, DT. You can't fault the 49ers for taking a shot on Jordan Elliott given the turnover they're expecting across their aging roster. But when the biggest compliment you can give a starting defensive tackle is that you almost forgot he was really meant to be a rotational player, you have problems. Last year, Elliott looked overwhelmed in Cleveland, and there's a good chance that he sticks out like a sore thumb this year in San Fran. Seattle Seahawks, Noah Fant, TE. Noah Fant is one of those guys that everyone always expects to produce and never seems to quite deliver. Considering where he's at as a pass catcher, he should definitely be a better blocker as well. Fant looks the part, big, athletic, rangy, but he's the NFL equivalent of a concept car that never hits the market. At some point, it's fair to question not just the production, but also the effort. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Antoine Winfield Jr., safety. Coverage over the middle was a big weakness for the Bucs last season, and Winfield's inconsistencies did not help. If he doesn't bounce back, Tampa's safety room goes from thin to critical failure real fast. Unfortunately for Tampa, he has not looked like the same player in recent years, and is expected to be a big weakness again this season. Tennessee Titans, Tony Pollard, RB. The Titans have a whole lot more problems than running back, but at this point, it's safe to say that Tony Pollard is not the solution there. He has completely lacked the explosiveness that he put on display back in Dallas. Seemingly, the change of pace have caused struggles in pass protection, which is not a good combination when the team is expected to start as a rookie quarterback. Pollard was electric in spurts in Dallas, when he had Ezekiel Elliott doing the dirty work, but in Tennessee, with no one to soften up defenses, it has been a much different story. Washington Commanders, Dorrance Armstrong, DE. Washington's defensive line was not among their emerging strengths last season, and Dorrance Armstrong was at the center of that concern last year. He notched just 5 sacks and struggled to get regular pressure on the opposing quarterback. Armstrong is really just a depth piece forced into a starting role, and the results have been, as predictable as they are underwhelming. If the Commanders are serious about taking the next step, they need more pop at the edge. Because, Armstrong just isn't cutting it. But who do you think the worst starter on your favorite team is heading into the season? Who do you think we're right on? Who do you think we're wrong about? Was there anyone that we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching